Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and today in this game unboxing video, we are checking out a game which is already released into the wild, and solo gamers may already be enjoying this one. It is Resident Evil 3, the board game coming from Steam Forge Games. Now, just to give you some history on the release line in terms of this series to the tabletop, they started with Resident Evil 2 on crowdfunding, and that got delivered. Resident Evil 3 went to crowdfunding, that got delivered, and Resident Evil, the very first one, has been the most recent successfully funded crowdfunding campaign and will soon be delivering. And when it does deliver, it's going to hopefully deliver an even better experience than what we're about to unbox here. So the second one to the third one, there was a lot of changes, enhancements, and everything else kind of pushed into this one. And I think whatever was learned from Resident Evil 3 here is certainly going to go over into Resident Evil 1, which I'm really excited for in the future. We'll see how that pans out. For now, in this video, I'm going to show you everything you can expect to find inside the box, give you an idea of all the components up close, and you can determine for yourself if this is something you're interested in. Monsters have overtaken the city. Streets once bustling with life are deathly still. The only sound, the crackle of fire and undead groans. Occasionally, a scream breaks the silence as a survivor is found and cornered. A survivor trapped in Raccoon City, you must fight to live through the nightmare and make your escape. In a series of nail-biting scenarios, you'll explore iconic locations like the Raccoon City Police Department and St. Michael's Clock Tower, searching for parts to repair the cable car that will see you to safety, all the while managing your precious resources and keeping zombie dogs and a number of other monsters at bay. Now, this is a cooperative campaign game for 1 to 4 players. You'll need to work together to survive the horror unless you're brave enough to go it alone in solo mode. Play as Jill, Carlos, Mikhail, or Nikolai, each with unique special rules. Explore the city as an open world, searching for clues and items and discovering new scenarios and locations. You get to make meaningful choices that define your enemies, affect your objectives, and can even change the course of your campaign, or play each scenario as a terrifying one-shot. Every decision counts, the city danger level is rising, and Nemesis is never far behind. When you first crack open the box, this is the very first thing you'll see, which is to be expected. After that, you'll run right into the rulebook, which we're going to take a look at right now. But just before we do, I also want to show you that there is a scenario booklet, which is separate inside the box as well. I'm going to show you the rulebook, at least a good chunk of it anyway, and then in terms of the scenario booklet, I'll show you enough without spoilers. Cracking open the rulebook, the first thing you're going to see is a table of contents over here in the credits. You're also going to have a full introduction narrative on the right-hand side. As you'd expect inside the rulebook, you got all the game components laid out, so you can make sure that you have everything you should have inside the box. After that, we get into the character profiles, where it breaks down what each of the different icons and symbols mean on all of the cards that are specific to the characters. Then it gets into the item cards. You'll see there's also full illustrations on these pages, and they definitely pull straight from the video game. So as you can see from the rulebook, as we go forward, there's lots of large illustrations that take up a good chunk of the pages, which is nice because it breaks it up so that you're not reading walls of text, but also there's not a ton of text per page to consume in the first place, at least in these early sections. It then, of course, gets into the gameplay, the basics of it, player turns, the action phase, moving, opening and closing doors, searching, trading, using items, and of course, attacking. This is likely a good representation and probably one of the busier pages inside the rulebook, and even still has lots of great examples and illustrations as it goes through to show you how to play the game. Now, I've skipped ahead a number of pages here. I'll show you some terrain elements. We got doors, one-way doors, archways, barricades, stairwells, walls, item boxes, corpses, fire, explosive barrels, all the things you'd expect to find from the video game here in the board game. And as we get to the back end of the rulebook, which is about 31 pages long, we have the bosses section here, their behavior, their decks and actions. Alternate play modes, you can play easy if you wish. There's also a section here for solo, which I will zoom in on in a second. And there's also, of course, the standalone mode if you don't want to get into the campaign and you want a one-shot. That's what you want to read. The solo mode inside of Resident Evil 3 is a true solo mode. You'll be controlling one character, so you can fully immerse yourself inside of the horror that you're going to be experiencing. It adjusts the health level of the bosses so that they can be defeated by a single character. And as it mentions there, it says if a player is playing in solo mode, make the following adjustments. There's only a handful of bullets here that we have to adjust. You can read those right now. And at the very bottom, it says solo play mode is fully compatible with standalone mode as well with most expansions. locations. So again, if you want a one-shot, you can absolutely do it. Now we're digging into the scenario booklet. Again, I'll avoid spoilers and won't be showing you all the pages here to ensure you can enjoy that campaign experience on your own. But we got a gameplay section over here, which really is kind of an introductory area narrative to get into the gameplay. This section here focuses on advancing through the campaign, so the city map that you're dealing with, the item deck, campaign progression tokens, which are going to be used throughout your campaign, completion tokens and replaying scenarios, getting to the clock tower, and of course setting everything up. Now at this point the book turns sideways, and if you go ahead and take a look at the first page here, it really just breaks down the first scenario. So you have the scenario brief, downtown. It says searching in the darkness. You've got your encounter dice tables to roll on, yellow and amber tiles, card decks involved, special rules, narrative behind the scenario, and up top, way up top, you have the full layout of how to set up the actual scenario. Here's a zoomed in look at the very first scenario of the campaign. You can see zombies are involved, zombie dogs are involved. There's item tokens everywhere, doors, locked doors, item boxes, explosive barrels. There's also yellow encounters, amber encounters, or sometimes even no encounters based on the color coding throughout the scenario. On the back of the booklet, you have a campaign tracker for your characters, health track and inventory, your item box, 8 max, scenarios across all of them. We now get into the punch boards for Resident Evil 3. They are double-sided, so I'll flip these over so you can see both sides. It is worth mentioning that the colors across these tiles are so much better than Resident Evil 2. There was a big-time upgrade to how they were presented overall, and I think going into Resident Evil 1 in the future, you can expect that to continue onwards, or at least not be stepped down in any way, shape, or form. But there's lots of very thematic tiles here, and again, if you're a big fan of the video series, or video game series, I should say, you are definitely going to find yourself at home here and recognize a lot of what you're seeing. You've got dials here along the bottom, different types of ammo going on, lots of tokens to punch out. There looks to be about 8 punch boards worth here in total. Some of them are already coming out as I flip these over. And the final one. With the punch boards out of the way, the next thing you run into is a tray full of miniatures and cards. This does have a clear plastic cover on top to keep everything in place. With the cover now off, we'll go ahead and take a look at each and every one of these unique miniatures up close. So again, for any duplicates, we're not going to show every single one of those. There's a number of each of them, and then we'll go through all of the cards as well. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up the game unboxing video for Resident Evil 3, the board game from Steamforged Games. Let me know in the comments below, have you played this one before? Are you currently playing this one? And let me know how you're enjoying it or whether you're not enjoying it. Either way, let me know. Also, I want to know from individuals that have jumped on or backed the latest crowdfunding campaign for the Resident Evil series, which would be for Resident Evil 1. Are you excited for that one? Let me know in the comments below as well. Looking forward to diving into this one in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.